What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about that ending scene of Resident Evil Village hopefully, maybe, actually, one last time. This is kind of, I call this an emergency video. I wasn't planning on recording a video late Saturday for you guys to see right now as you guys are seeing it, but there's been a kind of discovery, a breakthrough, whatever you want to call it, on that ending. So I'm not going to keep you guys I know you guys probably don't like to be led on. I'm not going to keep you in the dark too long. I'm going to go over what happens, what people, I guess, have just discovered about it, and what it could mean, okay? I will keep you waiting just another second, though. If you guys haven't already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 50K. We're around 1,000 away. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. I've had loads of Resident Evil videos I've already done. I'm going to be having plenty more even after this video, so there's plenty to find Resident Evil related. I also cover lots of other stuff. Hit the like button. Definitely helps. All right, jumping right to it. So we've mentioned this before. At the very end, we're talking about the Rose ending. Okay, so there's the ending, and then this is kind of like the post-credit scene. Okay, some people are calling it post-credit scene. Some people are calling it like bonus ending. I don't really get that, but anyway. You see Rose. She's like I would say a late teenager. You can even call her probably an adult, okay? She gets into the car with the Johnny Cage-like figure. They drive. As they're driving, you don't see a figure on the right side, okay? When they get in the car and when they start going. Then you do see the figure. Once the car passes kind of a certain point, the right side of the road at the very far end, you don't see anything, and then all of a sudden you do. So there's a figure there. And I guess we'll go through what people are saying about it afterwards, but just keep all of this stuff in mind, right? And the car stops. The car goes very, very far down the road, and the car stops. Doesn't keep driving. It stops at this figure. Now, I've made videos, I've talked about it. Some videos maybe haven't even gone up yet. I don't know who that is. I never knew who that was. I said, it probably isn't Ethan because he's dead. And this is, by the way, spoilers, so hopefully you guys know that. So it doesn't really make much sense. Well, these geniuses online. Now, this does come from Dusk Golem, who has been right countless times, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys know who this guy is, Aesthetic Gamer, a.k.a. Dusk Golem. He's talked about how this is part of a trilogy, how there will be a 9, and it'll round it out, okay? No promises that Ethan would be in a 9, but that the story of 7, 8, 9 are all connected. And he said, oh boy, I won't say it here to not spoil peeps, but there's a discovery in Resident Evil Village's post-credit scene. Pause the cutscene before the scene fades out. Enter photo mode and look around for a bit. Now, I believe he did another Twitter post somewhere else, or some other, somebody else did it. But basically what happens is, like they say, right before the scene is gone, once the figure is there and the car is stopped, there were people that did this, that paused it, that entered photo mode, they got close to the figure, and that figure is the character model of Ethan. Now, the reason I say character model is because that's very important. So that's I guess that's the end of the discovery, okay? That character is, I would say, technically Ethan, okay, in terms of the character model. Now, where we have a divide amongst the fans. Well, you could say it's a good idea, it's a stupid idea, you could literally say whatever you want, right? And I want to hear it in the comments below, by the way. You'll have some people that say, and I did see some people that said, well, that person, they just kind of put that in to make the world feel less empty. Well, again, here's where I come from. I want to believe this is actually Ethan. Even though I don't think it would necessarily be the greatest idea, I want to believe that's him. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. Number one, that's not a character that they put there by accident. There is 0% chance that was by accident because the car stops. If the car was nonstop driving and then a figure was there, maybe you could say, okay, maybe that slipped through Capcom. You know what I mean? They do all these tests, they look through the game, and they forgot that part. But the car clearly stops in the road waiting for this person. Or you have to imagine maybe the windows down. And this person, by the way, right-hand side of the road, which is where Rose is. That's Rose's side of the car. So she would have been able to maybe roll her window down and communicate to this person, okay? Also, I guess I was going to say, they seem supernatural because they weren't there and they literally just appear there. Again, you could look at that as a game error, as, again, a mistake, they didn't mean to do that, but I just really, I don't see why they would have done that. I guess, again, the biggest piece of evidence I have, or the biggest reasoning I have to believe that that's not the case, is because the car stops. If the car kept going, then maybe you could argue it a different way, but the car stops, which clearly means they wanted us to kind of question it. And then, obviously, you can look and you say, oh, well, wait, there's a person there, so who is that? Now, again, remember, it's a character model, so that person is the model that Capcom used throughout the whole game as Ethan, okay? That doesn't mean it has to be Ethan, but it's the character model they used for Ethan. Does that make sense? I mean, it is, I would say it's kind of confusing, especially if you're not, I don't know, if you don't know the lingo, if you're just playing this game for the first time and you're like, oh, okay, so that's Ethan then. It's like, for sure Ethan. I think it probably is, but I guess you can find the loophole to say, well, no. But again, my other reasoning is, well, yeah, I mean, they could have just put that in there and forgot about it, right? They could have just had it be Ethan and really Ethan's character model and not really thought twice about it. Now, what I would counter with that is there's many males throughout. Now, okay, I guess I should say this. There's not too many males, especially like literal human, like where they're not affected by all that much stuff. There's not too many of them, right? There's like Heisenberg, there's Chris, there's Ethan, there's a couple others. There's like the father at the beginning of the game that got like infected, and he basically turns on the small village, right, at the house, right? So you have a couple people. You have probably, and I could be forgetting people, but let's just say you have like 3 to 5 character models to choose from. They picked Ethan, I would say on purpose. You could say that maybe they did a coin flip, which is, I guess that means only 2. They rolled a die, okay? And maybe they could roll dice, but they rolled a singular die. That's, you know what I mean? So I really believe there's a reason why they did that. I like to believe, now Capcom is Capcom. Capcom has made a lot of mistakes. I used to love laughing at Capcom. I don't do it as much now as I did back in the past, but you could say, again, they forgot about it. It was like a lazy thing. It was something like that. I mean, I don't know. I think there's a reason why the car stops. I think there is a very clear reason why you'd use Ethan's model. So I believe that it's their way of saying Ethan is back. Now, again, does that make sense? No, it does. I guess, well, let me say this. It doesn't make sense just on, like, your first look. Like, if you're, like, and not your first look, really all of our first looks. Looking at the ending, for Ethan to come back there makes 0 sense. I think I talk about this in a video that maybe won't go up because I think it's kind of outdated knowing this information. But, like, I believe Rose ages at a normal age. I know some people think that Rose maybe ages faster, and they use Evelyn maybe as an example. I would say no, only because you know she's 6 months old in the beginning of the game, and they make no mention to say, like, she, like, is more advanced than normal. You know what I mean? Like, that is a 6-month-old baby throughout the game, and you would imagine, like, if they, like, maybe I guess they start slow, and then they grow really, really fast, so maybe it's only 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Like, maybe it's not all that much. I really do believe, though, that's been an extraordinarily long amount of time in between the ending and then this post-credit scene. So, like, to me, it doesn't make any sense, because why is he back 15 to 20 years later? Why did it take him that long to rise from the dead? Also, she literally just put flowers, like, on his grave. Like, it wasn't his birthday. It was, I think it was, like, it was that. That's why she went to visit him. So, like, why did you do that and then you, like, just coincidentally run into him? The only thing that makes sense to me is if, like, he's already, if he's always been around. Like, he's just always been there, and maybe Rose knows that, but nobody else knows it. Something like that, right? Where he's kind of, like, keeping, like, hidden, okay? That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because if they're going to bring him back 15 to 20 years because of some sort of phenomenon, which is the other way they could do it, I would say it's far-fetched. You could say, well, you could counter that by saying it's Resident Evil. And I would say, okay, touche. You know what I mean? So it's something to debate amongst yourselves. Honestly, guys, I think Ethan's coming back in 9 no matter what. That's kind of what that video I did, and I may not show you guys, at least in its current form, but I'll probably redo it. I do think he'll return. Not sold on him returning from the dead, although this definitely makes it possible, but I do think he'll be in 9. So we'll talk about that in a video or two. Make sure you guys keep your eyes open over the next couple days, because I'm going to have that video go up. But I think there's a reason why that character model is Ethan's. I really do. And I can't find the other tweet, but I swore, maybe I just made it up in my own head. I swore that Dusk Golem said something like, you know, he was surprised they didn't show it, like, more prominently. Like, he thought it would be more of a given thing that, oh, Ethan's going to be back for 9. And they only did this. So I can't find that. Maybe I literally just created that out of thin air, but I swear somebody said that somewhere. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think that it's a stupid idea? Do you think that it's a good idea? You know, did you think that there's a reason why they chose Ethan's character model in the first place? Let me know. Again, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you see when all these videos go up. Again, we're pushing for 50K and getting so close. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Leave a like if you did like this video, and I'll see you all on the next one.